Hi, today we are going to learn how to calculate the formal charge of atoms and determine the most plausible structure. We are going to focus on the second learning outcome, which is how to determine the most plausible structure. What is exactly the formal charge? Formal charge can be defined as the charge assigned to an atom in a molecule. The sum of the formal charge of each atom must be equal to the overall charge of the molecule or ion. How could we know the best molecule between these two possible structures? We have two possible Lewis structures of carbon dioxide, structure A and structure B. Why do we need the formal charge? When determining the best Lewis structure or the predominant resonance structure for a molecule, the structure is chosen such that the formal charge on each of the atoms is as close to zero as possible. By calculating the formal charge of each atom in the molecule, we can determine the most plausible Lewis structure, or the stable Lewis structure. What is the characteristic of a stable Lewis structure? First, the formal charge must be approaching zero or equal to zero. Second, the negative charge appear on the more electronegative atoms. The third, the positive charge appear on the more electropositive atoms. And finally, the sum of the formal charge of each atom must be equal to the overall charge of the molecule or ion. How to determine the formal charge? The formal charge of each atom in a molecule can be calculated using the following equation. To illustrate this method, let's calculate the formal charge of the atoms in carbon dioxide, whose the possible Lewis structure are as follows. We have two possible Lewis structure for carbon dioxide. Calculating the formal charge for structure A. Given the value of the formal charge for the carbon atom is equal to 0. The formal charge for the first oxygen atom is equals to -1, and the formal charge of the second oxygen atom is +1. Calculating the formal charge for structure B, obtain the formal charge for the carbon atom equal to 0, the formal charge for the first oxygen atom equal to 0, and the formal charge of the second oxygen atom is also 0. Now, which one of these two possible Lewis structure of the carbon dioxide is the most plausible? Structure A or structure B? Referring to the obtained formal charge, the most plausible structure is structure B. This is because it has the most formal charge of 0 on the atoms. Now, let's take a look for more example. Calculate the formal charge to each atom in NCO1- ion and determine the most plausible structure. We have two possible Lewis structure for NCO- ion, structure A and structure B. Now, let's calculate the formal charge of each atom for structure A. The formal charge for oxygen atom is equals to -1. The formal charge of carbon atom equals to 0, while the formal charge for the nitrogen atom is equal to 0. Now, let's calculate the formal charge of each atom for structure B. The formal charge of oxygen atom equals to 0. The formal charge for the carbon atom is equal to 0, and the formal charge for the nitrogen atom is equal to -1. Now, which one of the two possible Lewis structure of NCO1- ion is the most plausible structure? Structure A or structure B? Refer to the obtained formal charge. The most plausible structure is structure A. This is because the negative charge is placed on the more electronegative atom in the molecule. Now, let's try this. Draw all the possible Lewis structure for COCl2 molecule and determine the formal charge to each atom in the molecule. Then, determine the most plausible structure for COCl2 molecule. And now, this is your assignment. Please complete this assignment for submission. Thank you.